Tiger. You are locked into Amulet Tuesdays on Dash Radio, the loudest station in the world. We are the Tastemakers, and live from Hollywood, we are giving you the best taste of underground dance music. Just as we said, we have two talented people in our studio, Mr. MKO and Jhonny Om. Turn up the volume again because we are starting our interview. So guys, once again, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure.
So, you guys are, how long you guys been friends? For long?
I would say about four years. Yeah.
Amazing. And don't you think that they kind of look alike?
Yeah, they kind of look like brothers.
I
just glasses, the beard.
I just wish I was as tall as him. I take better video and pictures, in the crowd in the club. With my height, sometimes it's difficult to reach up high.
You can be teammates for that. You can hop on Mike's shoulders and take the
I don't know. I'm a big boy. I don't know if you can carry me.
All right, yeah, but you guys been friends for 4 years.
Yeah.
But I assume that you guys started on different times, the DJing thing, your careers. Yeah. Let's start with that question. Jhonny, how did everything start for you?
Personally, I started about, I want to say 5-6 years ago, just doing stuff at home. Bought myself a mixer. I used to go out a lot back then. Avalon Hollywood was my spot. I'm talking 10 years ago, 8-9 years ago.
And what were you playing at that time?
A lot of tech house.
Yeah, right? I know. Actually, let's correct that thing also. You guys understood my question in a wrong way. I was trying to say that what is the new EDM thing going? I'm not trying to say the phrase itself, electronic dance music. I'm trying to say the
mainstream
genre,
trend.
the mainstream genre. And you said progressive house, but I think you said
tech.
I would say
wrong.
Change to tech house. Yeah, he was correct on that.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's go on.
Yeah, so basically that's what I was playing back then. Not too much mainstream, I would say, more like after hours tech house. And funny thing is, I actually met MKO's partner in Subculture. His name's Patrick, and I randomly met him at Exchange LA. We're in the smoking patio, and we just saw each other. We started talking about music. Had no idea who we were. Started talking about music for a couple hours, and he found out I was a DJ, and he was a promoter and DJ at Exchange LA back then. And he's actually the one who got me into Exchange LA. Started out promoting over there, got me my first gig over there. So me, Joey Xander, and Patrick played the first time together at Exchange LA.
Joey, if you're listening to us, we miss you, bro, in the studio. You gotta come back.
Yeah, he's too busy at sound, I think.
I know, all these tables and bottle service.
Yeah. I started from there, and then, through connections and meeting a bunch of people, I got to meet MKO, and great guy, great friend. We just went on from there. And as far as DJing, I just went from Exchange LA to different spots, Sanctuary, Avalon Hollywood, Frenzy After Hours with Steve Pryor. And then I think the best thing that happened to me was getting into Le Jardin, Le Vibe. Back when Le Vibe Saturdays was happening, and we had
that's a good spot.
We had consistently good music, good artists coming in every Saturday.
Actually, this purple lights right now on top of me kind of reminds me of Le Jardin. Right? Yeah.
So I had the pleasure of opening for a lot of artists. One of my first ones was with Isaiah Martin, and then with Tash, and I played with Davi over there. So a lot of good artists, But my sound pretty much evolved from when I first started into what I'm playing now.
All right.
That happens with most artists, I think. As you grow older, as you mature with music.
Well, it's a path. You grow when you when you grow in your music, when you grow in your career, you kind of change your ideas, and you kind of find new dynamics. But MKO, what was the story for you, man? How did you start it?
So for me, I bought my first mixer 2010. So not 2010, 2007. It's been 10 years. And I basically just was a bedroom DJ. I just had a passion for music at the time. So my buddy was a really good DJ. So he kind of taught me before I actually bought my own mixer. So then I'm like, you know what? I need to just buy my own, go home and practice. And I did that. I bought Tractor. It was amazing. And then me and him actually started doing we had a residency at a local bar where we throw weekly events. I was under another alias called Mikey B. And that was my friend DJ AZ. So we used to throw weekly events on Sundays over there. It was more EDM back then. That was the more fan favorite. It was electro, even those heavy hitters like Chucky or like Dirty Dutch, those kind of that kind of music back then.
Riverside, motherfucker.
So we had some fun times back then. I had another company I was working for called Under Dad Dirty. So we would throw events all over Hollywood too. We had a couple events at Couture back in the day. Now it's Station 1640. And then I started to listen to this kind of music about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm like, you know what, this sound is really sitting with me well now.
How do you find it out?
How did I find out? So I had a friend who introduced me to the music and took me to my first event. It was actually like an intimate party at the Park Plaza with Dixon and Bob Moses. And that day, the music just blew me away.
Changed your life.
Yeah, it changed my life.
Dixon and Bob Moses. I mean,
Yeah,
those are festival headliners.
Yeah, and it was like an intimate party at the Park Plaza. It was great. And then just shortly after, I went to my first All Day I Dream on New Year's Day. At the Egyptian Theater.
Oh,
So,
that was the first one they threw.
at the Egyptian Theater.
the second one.
I think they've had one more before that.
Yeah, the second.
Or a couple more.
Oh, I was there.
Yeah. So
Such a great party.
Another amazing day, and especially Lee Burridge was one of my idols. I mean, that was one of my idols, and till this day, he's blown my mind. Especially recently at Burning Man with the Zebrah Heart set, it was amazing. So then me and my partners, I grew up with them pretty much. I went to elementary with a couple of them, lived like neighbors with the other one. I have 4 partners in subculture. It's me, Ronnie Merabian, Patrick Hawk, who's also a resident DJ, and Arvin Shrinians. So we kind of got together and started to produce some events in LA because we were like nerds in this new underground scene. We knew so much, about the artists, about agencies, about underground artists. So we thought we had the resources to do this. So we came together and did it. And that's when I changed my alias to MKO, which is actually pronounced Muko. It's actually short for Mike in Armenian.
Oh, okay, Muko.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I always keep you calling MKO.
Yeah,
My bad.
Always doing that.
Yeah.
Right,
Fucking up
let's
people's
fix that
names.
thing. Today we have in our studio Muko and Jhonny Om.
It's okay. It's a common mistake. I'm used to it.
So when did Subculture start then?
2016. So yeah, I started the alias with Muko just pretty much shortly after. Because I felt like, my old alias, Mikey B, was kind of like the older EDM style. I'm like, I had to kind of put that on pause. It was
Fresh start.
A new scene. And so it's been refreshing ever since with this music. It's changed my life, and it's literally like heartwarming music. It appeals to like an older crowd, and my parents love it. My parents didn't love the music I was playing before, that hard EDM. Now they're like coming to my shows and listen to my mixes all the time.
You see, that's the thing. That's the exact same thing what Liron said. I'm Turkish. These guys are Armenians. Liron is coming from Israel. We grew up on this music, like our roots, our hymns. Those traditional sounds are actually supporting this kind of music. So that's why our families, that's why our parents are also into this kind of music, because with this, with this bass line, with this kick on those songs, you can also hear these like traditional instruments and everything.
Exactly.
There's like a special vibe going on. So that's the thing. Which is amazing, like doing something like that, going back to the roots. I can say that.
Exactly.
So also, let me go back to Jhonny on this one. So you started your career, you learned how to DJing, you started meeting with new people, and then started your gigs. What was the? Do you remember your first gig?
Actually, my first club gig was at Exchange LA,
Yeah,
which was
like
very shocking to me because I always viewed as Exchange LA as like a major club, and to get a gig there, it's not.
Yeah, by the way, if you guys don't know it, if you guys are tourists and listening to us, Exchange LA was on DJ Max's top 100 best clubs in the world list. I think
It was the best club in Los Angeles, they said.
Yep, right. And it's actually the one of the very few North American clubs on that list. I think they were on top 20, so it's a big thing.
Right. So for me, it was like, wow, that's where I'm going to play. Mm-hmm. For my first time, I didn't care if it was main stage or if it was a small room or whatever. It was just giving me a really decent platform to play my music. I actually played with Mike there once, and back when he was called Mikey B.
Ah,
Yeah,
MK.
MK was on the main stage, and
Oh my God, Mark Hinton.
Annabelle England was on the main stage, and we were playing downstairs.
He did a really great job with that song 17 this year. He actually made up onto the UK official top 100 chart.
That's when I was actually back then. That's when I was playing like Hot Since '82 and Green Velvet, or tracks, stuff like that.
Frankie Rizzardo.
There you go.
Yeah, defected.
Yeah, and just my sound just matured and evolved from there.
Yeah, I was playing more ethereal techno at that gig. More of the Ron Salmon, the Stay Yoki vibes. I don't know if you guys remember that record label with Soul Button and Adriatic. It was more
I love Ron Salmon a lot, by the way. I love his sound. I love his sound.
Definitely. Honestly, I feel like there's two ways of going about it. You could either stick with that sound if that's who you are.
But can you describe that night for me? Like, what was your feeling? Like, seeing those people who are actually waiting for the main act. It doesn't matter, but like, you see those people like dancing right in front of you.
I'll be honest with you. I was really, really nervous because what I had done is uploaded all my music through Rekordbox on my flash drive. And I go in and none of my edits, cue points, or anything like that had transferred or anything like that. So I'm like,
the fuck am I gonna do?
I'm like blind. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm like, if you're as good as you think you are, you'll come out of it.
Yep.
So I started, and it was great. I had a lot of family members, a lot of friends who showed up. Patrick was there. Patrick was actually the only one that came to me and gave me the criticism that I needed. He was like, hey man, he was like, great tracks, great stuff. You got what it takes. It was like a few pointers which he gave to me, which I actually took as constructive criticism. I wasn't like, bro, what are you talking about?
That's something about LA also, like, I hate it when, like, I care about you, right? Like, after I listen to your set, I come up to you and say, like, dude, the transition that you made over there, it kind of made me feel like this. Like, it's a constructive criticism. Like, you're just commenting on people's craft, and they go like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I think I did a really good job or something.
Right.
I can't stand these arrogance.
I actually appreciate people who could spot those
right?
mistakes that people
It's
make.
an educated ear thing.
Yeah,
I agree.
So I know that person knows music. That person
means
knows
they care about you.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, your first gig was on Exchange. Obviously, like, you felt the same feeling, just like, look, every DJ who is having who are having their first gig. But I want to ask Mike on this one. Mike, what was your first gig? Was like
first gig as MKO was actually a Subculture and Friends event we had at Pattern Bar. We did like a Subculture like thank you event for our first year. We had like a number of events which went fantastic. So we wanted to kind of do something to. It was right before Thanksgiving, so we
did you say that was it a Subculture takeover or something?
Kind of thing. Yeah, at Pattern Bar. It was me, Patrick, and Decado came back to back, and we actually had special guest Hopta, who came and played an amazing set that day. It was absolutely packed at Pattern Bar. There was a line to get in. It was nuts. But that was my first official gig as MKO.
It's something unusual for Pattern, actually. We gotta admit that.
Totally. Yeah. We play there pretty much, every other month or so. We have pretty much residency.
We played all together.
Yes. Oh my god, that was a fun night. Right before I took off to Burning Man, so
that was like a day or two before or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're mentioning about Subculture a lot. We don't know what is Subculture. Is that a record label? Is that a production company? Is that a group of people just like this kind of music?
Exactly. This is actually a good friend of mine, Berj, his aka Goldcap. Amazing gentleman, a producer, friend. He's just so humble, and I've learned so much from him. I've looked up to him. Actually, this past weekend, he was actually playing at a party called Italian Friends, and
is he from LA too?
He's from LA. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We should have all these people on our show.
Yeah. He actually played an amazing set, and then Itai was asking me if I wanted to play after he was done around 3 a.m, and I ended up hopping on with Serge Mikelian, also known as Atmana.
Wow!
When both of us played together, we call ourselves Meraki. It was a fun night. I respect him a lot. But with Subculture, yes, it's four of us, my childhood friends, and we kind of came together in 2016. We had the resources to be able to throw parties. We had the knowledge to throw parties. So we tried our best to get some amazing artists and be able to throw our first event. We got our first event was actually amazing. We had Vik and Arman First time ever playing in LA. So we did his LA debut. We had the pleasure of having Gab Rome.
I love him. Weekend Armand.
Oh my gosh, he's also another fantastic human. Hoj is also on the lineup, and LA native Anton Tumas. So it was the event was called The Loft. So after that first event was successful, it was amazing. Everybody had a good time. Then we kind of continued from there to go even bigger and bigger as much as we can, just trying to top each party that we just threw. So we have right now a special New Year's Eve event we're throwing in on this year. That's our second annual Cirque Magnifique. It's actually our biggest production to date. We have 10 acts total, about 12 hours of.
And where is it going to be?
It's going to be a secret location downtown. That's all I can say for now. But the location will be announced day of to all ticket holders. So tickets are available on Eventbrite and Resident Advisor. You can get the link actually from our Instagram page, subculture_LA. It's spelled SBCLTR_LA. You can also find us the same way on Facebook, and you'll be able to find the event page. And we have some amazing artists, including Adam Port. We have Stavros. We have my partner Patrick Hodge also playing, Davi, Madota.
Kind of reminds me like good old times in Turkey right now. Like
Stacked.
Like Weekend Armand, I remember Weekend Armand performing and Stavros also performing in an abandoned factory in Turkey, and like I couldn't believe my eyes, because right in the heart of Istanbul, how did they fucking find 3,000 people to squeeze them in an abandoned factory just to listen this kind of music? So I just wanna give a short break right now while our audience find out Subculture's Instagram account and that New Year's event. Just listen this beautiful tune by Goldcap. It's called Mirage.
Kind of focusing on a few other things right now at the moment. So my next role will most likely be in January, not December.
Okay. And what about producing?
That's what I'm trying to focus more on.
All right, perfect.
So I found myself, spending too much energy and time into going after gigs versus spending time on actually creating music.
That's actually a common mistake for DJs. Like they're trying to perform more and more. Obviously, performing is really important. But whoever I talk to, Sid Pauli, Luciano, Richie Houghton, these are the DJs that I really respect a lot. And they keep telling me that you have to produce, you have to learn creating new music. You can't keep playing our songs all the time.
Right. I mean, you can if you choose, but it's you're gonna hit a roadblock. There's only so far you could go.
Yeah, you're gonna end up like just being a DJ.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which is fine if that's what you want to do, but as an artist, when you're trying to constantly create something new and trying to touch the crowd and
I think that's the key word, artist.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously DJing it's a good craft, and it also means being an artist. But if you broaden yourself, I mean, you have to create something. You have to be productive.
When you realize that, like Mike and I and you yourself, I'm sure you could agree on how much time we spend searching music. Endless hours.
All the time.
I don't think any of the crowd knows how many hours we spend searching.
And money.
And money, exactly.
I mean, just for this weekend, 72 hours, I can say. I didn't go out and I was just listening to music.
And then sometimes you hit a point where you're like, I just can't find what I want or what I want to play. That's why you're like, you know what? You need to create that sound. What you're looking for. If you can't find what you're looking for, then
agreed.
You want to do it. Like, I know exactly what I want and I'm going to do it.
Right.
And it's a special moment when you create a song and then you play it live and have other people feel on it,
Exactly.
Can you describe the sound, what you're going after or what you're working on, and give us any details?
This might be a little extreme, but I would say the perfect sound for me would be a cross between an All Day I Dream sound and a progressive sound which you would hear on, let's say, Sudby, like Hernan, or they're two extremes, but finding something in the middle where it implements both genres and both styles together.
Could it be something like this?
Something like that with a little more melody, maybe.
All right.
Some atmospheric vibes, maybe with it.
Yeah, a little more arpeggios,
ethereal,
maybe. Yeah, I can totally feel that. So, MKO,
yes.
what we can expect from you on the upcoming days, and also Subculture.
Of course. Well, personally, myself, my next gig is next Thursday with Vector LA. It's a new event actually happening in Glendale. I'm playing with my buddies Sarkis MKO and Sand, also two very well-known underground DJs, travel the world and play. So I'm excited for that next week. Catch me there. Also with Subculture, our next big event is like I said, New Year's Eve called Cirque Magnifique. We have 10 acts playing, 2 stages of music, 12 hours long. Our tastemakers that night are Adam Port, Anton Tumas, Davi, Iron Music, Goldcap, Holmar, special sunrise set by Holmar, Madota, Patrick Hodge, and Stavros, which will also be doing a DJ and a live set. So I'm very excited for that. You can find tickets on our link on Facebook at SBCLTRLA, which is on Subculture, and Instagram SBCLTR_LA, and you can find the link in our bio for tickets.
And also, we're gonna share the event on our Instagram story, so you can tune into our Instagram account at Amulet Tuesdays. Plus, I'm gonna share it on my own Instagram account at Project Casa 35. And if you wanna check what Zebrah gonna do in parties, you can watch his stories at Jupiter Senses. So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said since the sunrise set, so can you tell us the hours of it?
We're shooting for 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Okay, nice. And then we were talking about this off air. Can you explain for someone that's going for the first time what to expect at a Subculture event? You go in,
Sure.
explain what to expect, what events, what activities.
So we have, a full immersive event happening. We'll have, fire performers. We'll have, maybe some stilt walkers, some aerialists. We have vendors, food. We have chill areas, multiple areas for you to hang out. 2 stages. El Silencio Mezcal Bar, who's going to be sponsoring us.
It's a festival.
It's pretty much like a mini festival.
festival.
It's an experience. So you're going to come here, and you don't necessarily have to go and dance all 12 hours. You can go hang out with your friends, talk, grab some drinks, have some food. Shop even at some amazing vendors that we usually bring by. It's going to be a great event, and highly suggest you come in if you haven't already, or if you haven't heard of us. You will not be disappointed.
Awesome.
I agree.
Amazing. Also, talking about the events,